One is relative lowering of vapor pressure, and relative lowering of vapor pressure is given by P1 naught minus P1 divided by P1 naught is equal to W2 divided by M2 into M1 divided by W1. So this is the relation between molar mass and relative loading of vapor pressure. And next, I have also covered about the elevation in boiling point. That is, elevation in boiling point is equal to TB minus TB naught. Here TB means boiling point of the solution prepared by non-volatile solute in a volatile solvent will be always higher than that of the pure solvent. So this is equal to Kb into M. M means molality of the solution. Kb means molar elevation constant or ebullioscopic constant or elevation in boiling point constant or elevation in boiling point constant. Now third qualitative property will be depression in freezing point of solvent. Depression in freezing point of solvent. So here for the depression in freezing point of solvent, so I will draw a graph for the depression in freezing point. That is, vapor pressure versus temperature graph is there. Temperature in Kelvin and vapor pressure. If you plot temperature versus vapor pressure graph, then this is the graph for solution. This is the graph for frozen solvent. This is the graph for liquid, and this is the graph for frozen solid. So here this will be TF and this will be TF naught, and difference is given by delta TF. So here, see here, freezing point is the temperature at which vapor pressure of liquid will be equal to vapor pressure of corresponding solid. In this way we can define. Or another statement is that freezing point of the substance is the temperature at which solid and liquid curves for vapor pressure versus temperature will interact or intersect each other. So see here, freezing point of water. Example, freezing point of water is equal to 0 degree. We know that. Okay. So now, if we make a solution in the water by dissolving a non-volatile solid, say for example, water freezes at 0 degree or 273 Kelvin. For freezing point or for ice, if you keep the salt or mix the salt with ice, then this ice will freeze below 270. So that freezing point of solution, that is non-volatile solute, is less than that of pure solvent. So remember this point, freezing point of the solution is less than pure solvent. Let TF naught be the freezing point of pure solvent and TF be the freezing point of solution prepared by dissolving non-volatile solute in a volatile solvent. And so then conditionally, freezing point of the solution TF less than TF naught, or we can write delta TF is equal to TF naught minus TF. This is called as depression in freezing point of solvent. This delta TF is equal to TF naught minus TF. So remember, in the elevation of boiling point we have given a similar relation, but the relation was delta TB is equal to TB minus TB naught. So here TB first comes, and in the freezing point TF naught first comes. Remember the change in the elevation and depression in the freezing point. This is also called as decrease or depression in the freezing point. So what is it? So it is the difference difference between, it is equal to difference between freezing point of pure solvent and that of solution. Okay, this quantity delta TF is equal to TF naught minus TF is known as depression in freezing point of the solvent, or it is also known as decrease in freezing point of the solvent. Now this is nothing but difference between freezing point of the pure solvent and that of the solution. So now on the experimental basis we can prove that, on the experimental basis, experimentally we can show that similar to elevation in boiling point, so delta TF elevation depression in freezing point is also related to concentration of the solution, that is molarity of the solution. So that or delta TF is equal to Kf into W2 into 1000 divided by M1 into W1. This is the relation between delta TF and molarity. So here Kf when M is equal to 1, delta TF is equal to Kf. So that is Kf means Kf is the molar depression constant. Kf is the molar depression constant, or depression in freezing point constant, or we can use another word, cryoscopic constant. So here the word cryo means not crying, it is to cool. So here in the freezing point we are cooling the system, so this Kf is called as molar depression constant, or depression in freezing point constant, or cryoscopic constant, and it depends on nature of the solvent. So let us discuss about the units of Kf. So when this Kf is defined, so Kf, molar depression constant, is the depression in freezing point of the solution when 1 mole of the solute is dissolved in 1 kg of the solvent. Otherwise we can define Kf as it is the decrease in the freezing point or depression in the freezing point caused for 1 molar solution. So units of Kf will be similar units like Kb. Units of Kf will be Kelvin, kg per mole. Remember the units, and the relation delta TF is equal to Kf into W2 into 1000 divided by M1 into W1. Now I will give you the relation between Kb and Kf. Okay. Next up, some constant values of Kb and Kf. So now next one, relation between the constants, relation between Kf and Kb. So both depend on nature of the solvent. Both depend on nature of the solvent, so that both can be related by a common relation. So I will give you the relation. Kf is equal to 1000 into R into Ma into Tf square divided by 1000 into delta H fusion. Kf means fusion. Similarly, Kb is equal to R into Ma into Tb square divided by 1000 into boiling point and freezing point of the solvent respectively. Similarly, delta H fusion is the enthalpy of fusion. Fusion means from where to where? It is from solid to liquid. And delta H vaporization is from enthalpy of vaporization. So enthalpy of vaporization is from liquid to gas. So now based on these two relations we can commonly relate the quantities Kf and Kb. Now I will give you the values of Kf and Kb for some of the solvents. Note down it. Values of Kf and Kb for some solvents. Values of Kf and Kb for some solvents. So here first column is solvent, then second column is boiling point in Kelvin, third column is Kb in the units of kg, Kelvin, kg per mole, then freezing point in Kelvin, then Kf, Kelvin, kg per mole. This is the column I want to draw. Now first solvent will be the water. First solvent will be the water. Boiling point is 373.15 and Kb is 0.52. Freezing point is 273.0 and freezing point constant is 1.86. So then benzene 353.3, 2.53, 278.6, 5.12. Then chloroform, not necessary. CCl4, boiling point 350.0, 5.03, then 250.5, 31.8. In the problems, you will be given the values of Kf and Kb. If they will not give the values of Kf and Kb, remember this from the chart. Okay. Now CS2, and so many others are there. I will just writing a few. 319.4, 2.34, then 164.2, 3.8. This is about the elevation in both freezing point and depression in boiling point and depression in freezing point. And now next one is osmosis, or before in the syllabus it is directly osmotic pressure, but you should know the idea about osmosis. So let me just briefly explain the process of osmosis. So osmosis means take a beaker, in that take water, okay, take a thistle funnel, like it will be like this. One side it will be like bulb shaped and another side it will be pipe. This type of the apparatus is called as thistle funnel, and in this thistle funnel close the mouth of the tube and then pack it with a semi-permeable membrane. Semi-permeable membrane is a membrane which allows only the small solid particles to pass through it, and bigger size solid particles will be not passing through the membrane. So that type of the membrane is called as semi-permeable membrane. There are so many semi-permeable membranes like animal bladder, plant bladder, or parchment paper, cellophane paper, cupric acetate paper on a porous wall. Like so many semi-permeable membranes are there. You can take any of the semi-permeable membranes. Thistle funnel. And now invert the Thistle funnel. Invert the Thistle funnel. Okay. In the beaker containing water. Now the solution, sugar solution, will move from first it is initial level. When you keep the same system, that is Thistle funnel fixed with the semi-permeable membrane containing thick sugar solution. If you place in a beaker containing water, then level in the water or level in the Thistle funnel will be raised to the higher level. So here osmosis process is going to take place. Osmosis process means movement of solvent particles. So see here, usually our process is from higher concentration to lower concentration. Is it? This process we are calling it as diffusion. Means any solvent will move from higher concentration to lower concentration. But in this osmosis, the reverse process is going to take place. So movement of solvent particles from pure solvent. Here the concentration of the solution will be low to the solution, and in the solution concentration will be higher, so that through semi-permeable membrane. So movement of solvent particles from pure solvent, that is from lower concentration to higher concentration, that is to the solution through semi-permeable membrane, is called as osmosis. So this osmosis we are studying in our day-to-day life, that is osmosis is related. So if you put the flowers, wilted flowers in a fresh water, then the flowers will revive. Okay, first example. Second one, when you put the raw mangoes in a salt water, the raw mangoes will become shrink. Okay. So now next one is osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure. Here also one diagram is there. So see here, I just explained our usual process is from higher concentration to lower concentration. Okay. But in the osmosis, the reverse phenomena occurs. That is movement of solvent particles from the lower concentration to the higher concentration takes place. So for the movement of this type of the movement from low to higher concentration, some force should be there, or some force should be responsible for the movement from low to high. So now next one, osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure. One diagram is there. Here we are applying pressure. Some pressure is responsible for the movement of, this is semi-permeable membrane. Semi-permeable membrane. This is the pure solvent, and this is solution. So here on the solution side we have to apply extra force, extra pressure, so that movement of solvent particles. So here see here, solvent, pure solvent, solvent will move from pure solvent to solution. So here we have to stop the process of pure solvent to the solution. So that already one force is there on the solvent side. Okay. Now we are applying some extra pressure on the solution side, so that we can stop the process of osmosis. So osmotic pressure is the that should be applied on the solution side, should be applied on the solution side to stop, to just stop the process of osmosis, just to stop the process of osmosis. Okay, so here osmosis means again the solvent will move from lower concentration to higher concentration through semi-permeable membrane. So osmotic pressure is the external pressure or extra pressure that should be applied on the solution side in order to stop, just to stop the process of osmosis. Again, the experimental studies have shown that this osmotic pressure is again related to, it is a qualitative property, and this osmotic pressure is again related to concentration of the solution. So the how and why. So let me explain. Now next point, Van Hoff, the scientist Van Hoff in the year, Van Hoff in the year 1887, the scientist Van Hoff 1887 just discovered that osmotic pressure or dilute solutions will behave as ideal solutions. So ideal gases, dilute solutions are behaving just as dilute solutions behave as ideal gases. So ideal gas equation we already know, PV is equal to nRT. So here P is the pressure, V is the volume, N is the number of moles of the solute, then R is the gas constant and T is the absolute temperature. Now just replace, or P is equal to N2 divided by V into RT. N2 means number of moles, N2 divided by V into RT, but N2 is equal to CRT. So we can write the two equations for the ideal gas, that is P is equal to N2 by V RT, one equation, and another equation P is equal to CRT. So that similar equation is given for the osmotic pressure. Pi is equal to CRT, that is pi is proportional to concentration and temperature, absolute temperature of the solution. Okay, so in this equation, so C is equal to N2 divided by V RT. So now pi is equal to, again N2 is W2 by M2 into V RT. So here pi means osmotic pressure calculated in pascals, then W2 is the mass of the solute in the grams, M2 is the mass, molar mass of the solute in the grams per mole, V is the volume of the solution in liters, then R is the gas constant and T is the absolute temperature. So this is the relation between osmotic pressure and molar mass of the solid. Okay, so here R value is given by 0.0831 liter atmosphere per Kelvin per mole. There are four values for the gas constant. In that four values, liter atmosphere units values are given for the R. So here the four qualitative properties will be ending. Before ending, so just applications of osmotic pressure. Before ending, osmotic pressure applications. Applications of osmotic pressure. So this osmotic pressure is specially utilized for the molar mass of macromolecules. So what are macromolecules? Macromolecules are the molecules having large molar masses. So the molecules will be like proteins, biomolecules, proteins, biomolecules, then polymers, etc. Okay, so this is a specially applied method, or osmotic pressure is a specially method applied which is for usually meant for molar mass calculation of macromolecules. In that macromolecules are the molecules having large molar mass. In that proteins, biomolecules and polymers will be included. Now next one, second one. This method is widely used, as this method has an advantage over others because pressure measurement is near the atmospheric pressure. Pressure measurement is near the room temperature. Okay, pressure measurement is near the room temperature. Next, third point, molarity of the solution. Molarity of the solution is used instead of molality. Okay, so recall here, in the relative lowering of vapor pressure we use the word just number of moles. Okay, then in the elevation in boiling point and depression in freezing point we are relating to the molality, so that in the osmotic pressure we are using the word C. C means concentration, that is molarity, that is number of moles of the solute divided by volume. Then fourth point, so magnitude of, if we calculate magnitude of all the four colligative properties, then the magnitude of pi is of the order 10 raised to minus 2 to 10 raised to minus 3 atmospheres. Whereas magnitude of other properties will be 10 raised to minus 6 to 10 raised to minus 10. So it will be easy and convenient to use the osmotic pressure for the calculation of large mass molecules like proteins, biomolecules, then polymers. So here this technique is particularly used for biomolecules, because they are not stable at higher temperature, and polymers because they have poor solubility in water. Okay, here the four colligative properties will be ending. Now next part is isotonic, hypertonic and hypotonic solutions. Next part, our last part of the solution topic, isotonic, hypertonic and hypotonic solution. This part will be asked in 2 marks. Define with examples. Okay, so here isotonic, hypertonic and hypotonic solutions. Tone means it is related to a turn pressure, so that isotonic solutions are the solutions having same osmotic pressure. Isotonic solutions are the solutions, 2 or more solutions having same osmotic pressure. You have to use the word osmotic pressure, not concentration. Remember, in the definition, if you write the word concentration, then it will be completely wrong. So here you have to compulsorily use the word osmotic pressure. So iso means same, tone means pressure. So solutions having same osmotic pressure are called as isotonic solution. So there are, if 2 solutions with equivalent concentration when the two solutions of equivalent concentrations or equimolar concentrations by a semi-permeable membrane, there will be no osmosis process going to take place. So that they are called as isoosmotic. Let me give an example. So the concentration example, concentration of blood cells is equivalent to, concentration of blood cells is equivalent to exactly 0.91 mass by volume percentage of normal saline solution. Normal saline solution. Okay. So the concentration of fluid inside the blood cells is nearly equivalent to 0.91 percentage mass by volume. Normal saline means NaCl solution. So the blood cell is isoosmotic with the saline solution. So it is safe to inject the normal saline solution intravenously in the solution. Now next, the second one is hypertonic solution. Hyper means extra. Okay. So the two or more solutions having osmotic or solution having higher osmotic pressure, solution with higher osmotic pressure than reference solution is called as hypertonic solution. Hyper means more. Okay. So solution with higher osmotic pressure than reference solution is known as hypertonic solution. So same example is just changed here. If we place the blood cells in the solution containing, more than 0.91% NaCl solution, that means here concentration of the solution will be more. Okay. So if we place the blood cells in a solution containing more than 0.91% NaCl solution, then water will come out of the blood cells. Water comes out of the blood cells and cells will shrink. Okay. Remember, if you place the blood cells in a concentration or solution having concentration more than 0.91% NaCl solution, then the water comes out of the blood cells and cells will shrink. Now last for this class, hypotonic Osmotic pressure we have covered. Then last